Brilliant.
And that's this week's Fab Fact.
No.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James, and Chris Dale.
It's the Gerry Anderson Podcast. Jazz hands.
God, you haven't done that for ages.
No, years.
Not years.
Months.
Probably months. Why? What suddenly brought that on?
Just, yearning for the old days.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
I mean, well, if you want nostalgia, you're in the right place.
Absolutely.
It's the Gerry Anderson Podcast.
It is.
You, Richard James.
Hello. And you, Jamie Anderson.
Oh, that'll do, yeah. And him over there.
Oh, hello.
It's Chris Dale.
Chris. Oh.
Hi, guys.
Look at him. He's irrepressible, isn't he?
I know.
He's just bursting with some sort of Gerry Anderson fervour, isn't he?
Great word, fervour.
Thank you very much.
I
Thought of it
couldn't have thought of
myself.
a better one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, well, Chris will be here later on with the randomiser. Sits down, sofa, watches,
Yeah.
comments, jokes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I have Fab Fact, book, flick.
Yeah.
You shout Fab, say Fab Fact.
Yeah, viewers, listeners, emails, Podsterons, brackets, voice of.
Yeah.
Oh, now, special guest,
Kate Harbour,
Chris Dale,
Talkie.
interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up later.
city here.
Yes. Kate Harbour, known to Anderson fans, of course, for Lavender Castle, but has a myriad of voice credits from Shaun the Sheep to Bob the Builder to
Chicken
Run, Timmy TV, I think all sorts of stuff.
Time, Secret Show.
Timmy Time, is it?
Yeah, and she also did a Doctor Who with me, where she played a giant fish.
Who hasn't done a Doctor Who with you?
Ross.
Awkward.
I think it's only Ross in this room. Oh,
Right, shall we? I think we ought to. Yeah. Time for Fab Facts.
Fab Facts.
Now, time for this week's Fab Facts.
Yes, it's Fab Facts.
Yes, I know.
Your favourite bit?
Go on.
Chris's favourite bit? He made a yes face there.
Did he?
I've got a book of Fab Facts. I'll flick through it. You shout Fab, and I'll
Right.
stop flicking and then read a Fab Fact. 'Cause that's how this
Sounds
works.
brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Glad you're so happy. I'm
Yeah.
thrilled. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Fab! What? What have I done?
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
Whoops. Oh, whoops.
There was a bit of an onward flick there.
Right.
Well, this looks like a fascinating Fab Fact. I can tell.
Have you read
already.
ahead, have you?
Yeah. Well, the print is slightly cockeyed, so it's sort of it's a jaunty Fab
Is
Fact.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There must have been a printing error of some sort.
Gosh.
So here we go.
Yeah.
Richard James.
Hello.
What does Gerry Anderson have in common with the likes of
Yes.
Paul Simon, R.E.M., James Brown, John Gielgud, Elvis Costello,
What?
and The Cure?
I've no idea.
Well, he's been read out in a list alongside those
I
names.
see. Oh.
Yeah, you might be thinking that the answer could be something musical.
Well, there are certainly a lot of musicians and bands in that
Very
list.
good.
but John
Okay.
Gielgud-
Well, you're
Yeah, go on.
right. It's a musical related thing.
Okay.
They were all nominated
Yes.
for a Grammy in 1992.
Gerry Anderson,
Yes.
a Grammy.
Yes.
Okay, read on.
Strangely, the early 90s weren't the best of times for Dad. So just how did he end up in such illustrious company?
Yes, absolutely.
I can hear you asking. Go, just ask it now.
How did you end up in such illustrious company?
Brilliant, thank you. Well, when Mark Knopfler and his band Dire Straits were looking for a new look, shall we say,
Yes.
for their latest promo video, they turned to one of their favourite TV programmes for inspiration.
Yes.
Knopfler explained, I liked Thunderbirds because it was a Brit attempt at what we thought the future was going to be like.
Okay.
That's true.
Yep.
And so the band hired director Steve Barron, who is also a fan of the series. Dad took up the tale in a 1992 documentary. He said, I got a call from him one day to say that he'd like to meet me. He showed me the storyboard, and I decided that not only the idea looked great,
Yes.
but that I was a great fan of his.
Right in that moment, yes, you want to hire me? I'm a great fan of yours.
So I was delighted to be invited to join in.
Yeah.
Difficulties included building puppet replicas of each of the band members and reproducing the same operating techniques that Dad and his crew had used in the glory days of Supermarionation.
Right.
Dad described the puppets as kind caricatures and was sure to get the band's approval at every step of their creation.
I bet he was, yes.
Filming in June 1991, I remember it well. Dad called upon various trusted friends to help out, so it was that the talents of stalwart puppeteer operator Christine Glanville,
Yes.
producer Gerry Anderson, and
Yes.
director Steve Barron and musician Mark Knopfler all contributed to Dire Straits' new single, Calling Elvis.
Calling Elvis, that's it. That's the one.
Which was nominated for a Grammy for Best Music Video in 1992. But I know what you're wondering. Did it win?
Did it win?
Well,
Yes.
no.
Oh.
Facing stiff competition, it finally lost out to the video of Losing My Religion by R.E.M.
Okay.
Depressing video.
Yeah.
But it did at least secure a top 3 position in the US charts and provided Dad with some much needed work and cash
Yes.
during the early 90s when you could say that he was in Dire
Dire
Straits.
Straits. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see. He was
get
in.
it?
He was actually in Dire Straits, but not in Dire Straits.
Straits were dire.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
There
you go.
Yeah. I had no idea he was Grammy nominated.
Yes.
Did he ever win any awards? Do you know?
He won lots of awards, yeah.
yeah.
Not Grammy, though.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no music-related ones.
And
so.
never was given a sort of a honorary sort of BAFTA or anything like that.
No,
Isn't that
he was
strange?
made a fellow of the BKSTS, whatever it is.
I'm a fellow at B&Q.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You got your trade point card.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah, he got plenty of awards
I'm
in,
sure.
in his lifetime. He got a silver arrow for the Royal Bank of Scotland advert in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Some others.
Yeah, nice, good.
And an MBE, of course.
Well, yes, they don't get much bigger than that, do they? Well,
no,
knighthood,
I mean-
I suppose. But
Yes. Well, or
much
a
bigger.
OBE
CBE?
or CBE. They're
KB?
both bigger.
Yeah, are they?
Yeah.
But apart from that, they don't get
Apart
much
from
bigger.
all the things that you get bigger than that,
Yeah.
you don't get bigger than that.
No, that's good. Yeah,
You're
great.
right, yeah.
Yes, I remember that video very well. It was a bit of a. Those days, of course, pop videos and promos were huge. You'd stay
Yeah.
up and watch them. You know, I remember Michael Jackson Thriller premiered at like midnight one night.
Did it?
And everyone stayed up to watch it.
Yeah, no, I didn't stay up to watch it. It's a weird one. It's a strange song, strange video,
Yeah,
very odd.
yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah.
Very fun. And I remember going to, in fact, because they built most of the puppets in the famous Shed 11, which is no longer there at Pinewood Studios.
Okay,
So
yeah, got you. Right.
I've got some pictures somewhere. Anyway,
Nice.
there you go.
Like it.
No Grammy, but
Well
never
done.
mind.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of this week's
Grammy
Facts. We're getting
I know.
better on
We are
average
getting
at this.
better. Because I remember in the old days when we did this on audio only,
Yeah.
sometimes we'd say different things and we'd say, oh, should we just do it again and just say the same thing?
We
And used to
cheated and
cheat a bit.
re-recorded, but these are genuine now.
They really are genuine. Yeah, that's great.
Unscripted.
Talking of genuine,
Yes.
one of the most genuine people I've ever met is Chris Dale.
I
There's
would
no
agree with
side
that.
to him, as my mother-in-law would say.
No, I completely agree.
And I thought it'd be a good idea to get him around a table with this week's special guest, Kate Harbour.
Ah, what a great
And just
idea.
see what
Oh,
happens,
lovely.
yeah? Just see
Yeah.
if they could spark off each other and, see if the magic would fly.
I suspect they'll really jam.
Let's find out.
This week's guest's first taste of performing was imitating characters from The Muppet Show when she was 4. Her voice acting career includes working on BAFTA-nominated and award-winning shows including Timmy Time, The Secret Show, and Aardman's Shaun the Sheep series and movies. More recently, she has provided multiple clocks on Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, but she's known to Ander fans for her work on one of Gerry's later series, Lavender Castle. It's Kate Harbour.
Kate, thank you ever so much for joining us here in Slough today. We mentioned there that your voice acting career goes back to early childhood, and I believe it was to be found sort of halfway up the stairs. Would that
very
be right?
good. Yes, absolutely. Yes, that was my first. And by the way, thank you for having me. What a
thank you
wonderful,
for coming, yes.
exciting thing this is. This
Yes.
is amazing. So, yes, thank you for having me. And thank you for all the Anderson fans out there as well. Because, I hope I don't come across as an Anderamus. Because I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Yes, the first memory I suppose I had of voicing things was with this green glove puppet, which was Kermit. And my father brought it back from America because he was an actor, and he was over there trying to, hit the big time or introduce himself to people. And he went and bought these lovely little puppets and brought them back because he knew what a fan I was of the Muppet Show. I mean, I was just sick with it. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think a lot of people were that generation, weren't they? Yeah.
And there's just something about puppets, really, that just took my imagination, just absolutely held me. And so it was the Muppets that really started everything for me. I wanted to be there. I wanted to go and visit, actually. I really imagined it was a real place and that they were there and they were going to meet me. Or that, you know, one day I'd swan in as some sort of guest star and have a chat or a sing or a dance with them because, you know, that was...
Well, of course, it was recorded in the UK, wasn't it? I think it was taped at Elstree. Have you ever approached the Muppet world at all?
No, I haven't. No, this is the thing. It's one of the things that I would actually dearly love to do is puppetry. I used to do it with my stuffed animals. It sounds a bit wrong.
That's fine.
I had a donkey and I had a Huggy Bear and I had a little Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is on his way. So he was there, and I used to make them move and talk to me because they would just talk to me like this, and I'd sort of get that whole, and then the Fraggles came in, and then so you know you're starting to do all that sort of movement. But yes, I would love to have done puppetry actually, and in order to create some characters. And in fact, I don't see why I can't. I think there are people making puppets nowadays, but I've kind of not wanted to because also because it's not. I have such respect for puppeteers. That it's such a craft, a craft. I wouldn't presume to be able to know immediately how to do that. I have enthusiasm for it.
Oh yeah.
And yes, I can do lots of different voices and characters and things and embody the characters. But it takes a lot of skill to do that.
Yeah.
So I'd love to train. So if anyone wants to train me,
get
great, I'm here.
We'll put you in touch. So obviously you're watching the Muppets as a kid, and it sounds like you're watching Fraggle Rock as well. Later in the early 80s. Were you watching any Anderson shows around that time?
I actually was. I have a memory of it is quite vague because it's. I think I was probably about 6 or 7, and I think it must have been a repeat, maybe in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
That the Thunderbirds was on. I remember the Thunderbirds, and my favourite bit was the sort of secretness about it.
Oh yes.
You know, and the pool going back, and the rocket coming up, and just fantastic. I was mesmerised again by the puppets. I don't know. I'm just mesmerised by the physicality of them, and how they could express themselves with just a little turn of the head or the eye or. You know, the shape of their mouth. So shape and all of that really grabbed me. Plus it was just so grown up. It felt so grown up to me. Cinematic and dramatic, and the music was just fabulous. FAB. Sorry, had to do that. And actually, looking at this Space 1999.
Oh yes, our question tin.
I remember that Martin Landau.
Yeah.
I remember him, and I remember the lady in the beige outfit with the Barbara. What was her name? Barbara
Bain.
There she is.
There she is.
Barbara Bain. Oh my God! Look at her. There she is.
Speak and she shall appear.
Well, you know, and I think it was Saturday morning telly. I think that's what it was for me.
For some regions it was on Saturday mornings.
And so that was that, and then they must have done some repeats of various other things as well, which I saw, and Stingray was part of that.
Oh right.
And what else? Oh well, I can't forget Terrorhawks.
Oh no.
Terrified me.
Oh wow.
But in a marvellous way. You know, it's that lovely feeling of being terrified but safe.
Yes.
Which I think has been commented on in the past on this pod, which I think is quite incredible, I have to say. Amazing. Very entertaining.
Thank you.
So Zelda. Really scary.
Oh wow, yes.
Denise Breyer. She was incredible. Her voice was just really scary, and it matched this. Was it latex? The way
rubber,
rubbery latex. Anyway, it was sort of a departure, obviously, from the Supermarination, wasn't it? And but she was just so alive.
Oh,
it was
yes.
so scary.
Pure evil.
I really felt like I I wouldn't want to see her in my nightmares. Yeah.
Oh, well, in real life, Denise was just one of the nicest, sweetest people you could ever meet. And then she would turn on the evil, and it's just, whoa.
Oh, yes, incredible.
So, okay, it sounds like you have a bit of a grounding, watching Anderson shows in your childhood. We're going to put that to the test now.
Oh, no.
Yes, afraid so. With a little game that we call Super Identification. We're going to play 18 clips from the opening titles of 18 Gerry Anderson shows, and your job is to see how many of them you can identify, and we will keep score.
Oh, look at my face.
on this little figure of you right
really
here.
Cute. I love that.
We have a whole row of them along the front just here, of previous
so
contestants.
Sweet. I love that.
So yes, are you ready for a bit of super identification?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes?
Oh, don't blame me if I can't get it.
That's fine.
Nope.
That's fine, that's fine. We're talking late 50s here.
Yes, no. Oh, for feather falls.
Yes. Well done.
A supercar.
Yep.
Don't know.
No.
Stingray.
Yep.
Thunderbirds.
Of course, yeah.
Captain Scarlet.
Yep.
Oh, Joe 90. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, that
We're
was
doing well,
freaky. Joe 90 was quite... Do-do-do. I know that. UFO? No. Terrorhawks.
Terrorhawks, yeah.
Stanley something. No. Oh, God.
Got to get this.
Lavender Castle. Lovely, David.
And last one.
The Space Precinct?
No,
I don't know.
That was the CGI Captain Scarlet from 2005.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, there we go.
Yep. Well, at the end of that round, Kate Harbour, you have scored a very impressive and very respectable 8 points. 8 out of 18. So.
Oh, I'm very pleased with that.
Yes.
That's...
We will add you to our little...
I'm still embarrassed I didn't get them, though.
No, that's fine. I mean, they go by so quickly, and I can tell there was some there that you clearly knew,
yes.
and had you had a bit more time for the brain to catch up, yes,
somehow,
you would have got there. But that's fine. That's very good. So, I was looking through your CV, and I see on there a lot of kids shows that were just after my time, but that I was aware of.
Yes.
Things like Bob the Builder,
yes.
Obviously, is one of the big ones. Okie Doke is one that I can remember being on. So how did you actually sort of break through into all these? Where did it...
Well, I made a tape. As I said, I studied as a dancer and went into musical theatre after that. But at the same time, I knew I wanted to work with my voice more. And I understood the realms of voice work through my father. Really, it felt a little bit like my own little secret, my own thing, my own... charge, you know, that I was excited by, I had a passion for. And so I made a tape and sent it off to various people. Cassette tape, yes.
Yeah.
And sent that off to various people, and it landed on various people's doorsteps, one of which was the amazing, and I owe most of my career to Jackie Cockle, who was at Hot Animation at the time, and she heard my tape, and she was looking at the time. It was luck. Mm-hmm. It was luck, and so she got me in to do, and I think we did Okie Doke before. It was before Bob.
Yeah.
And so that was with the wonderful David Holt, who I know you've had on here.
Yes.
And in fact, I'm going to see him next week, which is rather nice. Yes, he and I did several characters, lots of different characters all over the place, lots of animals, basically, in this wood. And they were very cute and gorgeous stop motion characters.
Yeah.
Which is a real love of mine. in any case, which is handy really because that's the kind of work I've been doing. So after doing Okie Doke, I believe that Emma Chambers, the late Emma Chambers, rest in peace, she was due to do Notting Hill. She was going to play the part of Wendy.
Right.
But because she got Notting Hill, she couldn't do it. And so because Jackie had worked with me, she got me in to do an audition. And I did lots of different runs at it, you know, different accents, trying different things and sort of working with Jackie. And because I'd worked with her before, I felt relaxed enough to just get into it, you know, and let's find these characters. And so then we found Dizzy, the cement mixer, as well. Oh. And because she was just so excitable, and with their little
the little blue one.
No. Dizzy
okay.
was
I don't
the
know my Bob
cement
the Builder
mixer.
characters. I'm sorry.
Dizzy was the cement mixer,
Okay.
and
She was really quite cute, you know.
Oh.
She's very excited about everything and get herself into lots of trouble, basically.
and then Wendy was quite sort of, you know, peaceful and there and. Oh, come on, Bob. No, you don't mean that, do you? Come on, Pilchard. And, of course, Pilchard. And I based Pilchard on, do you remember that great... No, you wouldn't do. There was a cartoon... No, an advert, and it was the Green Cross Code guy, and it was David Prowse, I believe. And in there was a little cat called... no, wait a minute. Charlie Says Never to Go Out.
Oh, yeah, the Charlie Says.
The Charlie Says thing, which, of course, I think was made into a record as well, wasn't it?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there's the cat.
Kenny Everett, I want to say, might have done the cat's voice.
Oh, I don't know
possibly.
who did it.
We're now way off Gerry Anderson
Wow,
stuff,
this
talking
is
about
hilarious.
public information films.
Yes.
But
So anyway, that sound created in my mind was Pilchard.
Lovely.
So yes. So your question, to go back, I've tangented, and that's what I do.
I can't remember what the question was. It was just how you got into acting in the first place. So would you say it was, you know, Bob the Builder was not the first, but certainly like the big...
That was the big ticket, definitely.
Yeah.
That was the big win. And although everything felt like a win to me because it was just amazing to be doing what I loved.
Yeah.
And have the chance to work with incredible people.
And of course, that went on for years, didn't it? Bob the
Yes, it
Builder?
did. Yeah.
I think it is finished now, done?
I think so, yes. And it had various connotations.
Yeah.
And they revoiced at one point. And then it was in America, and they did it in America. So I didn't do the American voice. But I think, I have to just say, I think I was in, of course I'd say this, the golden years of Bob.
Oh, yes. The classic period, as we say.
Classic period, yes. Yes, I loved all of that. And then just moved into lots of other bits and bobs. And Jackie did Timmy Time as well.
Oh, yes.
So I auditioned for that and played all the animals. There's a definite theme through my career.
Yes, looking through your CV, there are quite a few shows where you're credited as various animals.
Yes.
I think Percy the Park Keeper is one
gosh, yes.
mentioned as just various
with
animals
the gorgeous
as well.
Jim Broadbent, yeah.
Oh, yes. But before we move on from Bob the Builder, we have a little clip to play you here.
Oh, yes.
From several years ago, of you reunited with the star of the show, Mr. Neil Morrissey, on Loose Women.
That's right.
Let's take a look.
So I did Bob, but I was also Rolly and Lofty and Farmer Pickles and Scruffy the dog.
And so Cleaver's sister Katie played Wendy in it, didn't she?
Yes, that's right, Kate Harbour. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm really pleased you said that she was absolutely brilliant because she sent me a little message.
Has she?
Yeah.
Where's the message?
Hello, is that Neil? That's not Neil, it's Bob, actually, Wendy. Just want to say, do you realise, Bob, that it's 25 years since we recorded the first series of Bob the Builder? Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Dorothy. Hi, Neil. Kate Harbour here. Can't believe that, really. And, well, hold on to your hard hat. Who knows what's round the corner?
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, yeah, that was quite a shock, really, because they came through and said, would you do a little something? And I said, oh, yeah, no problem. I'll just go into my studio, quite relaxed, go into my studio just to do a little record for Neil. It'd be fun, little surprise for him. I sent it in and they said, yeah, it's really nice, but could you possibly do something on camera? I'm like, oh, cool. So I'd been bought a ring light for Christmas.
All right.
And so, I had to get on with it then, didn't I?
So perfect timing.
So it was, yes. So come on, Kate, get your face out there. So I did, and it took me quite a long time until my husband said to me, oh, for goodness sake, stop mucking about. Just get into your characters and you'll be fine. And as soon as I was back with my characters, I was fine. I was relaxed and I could just get on with it,
you can hear the old voices.
Yeah, and, just get over myself and get on with it, yeah.
So was that a hint that there might be more Bob the Builder to come?
Well, I think I was possibly alluding to the fact that I believe there's going to be a film, but I don't believe that I will have anything to do with it unless J-Lo wants Pilchard, the original Pilchard, and I'm still here. I can still do it. J-Lo, if you're listening, hi, it's me, Pilchard. Anyway, no, they're probably not going to do it that way. No. It'll be a whole new take, but whichever way, they're going to do it. Great story.
And you're still the original.
Get on with it. And yes.
Yes. No one can ever take that away from you. No. So here we have, as you've already noticed, our Space 1999 lunchbox. We have in here some questions sent in by our faithful podcast listeners.
Wow.
And here's the point where you can take one or two out and
goodness,
see if you can answer any of those.
How exciting. Right, okay. Roger Morgan says, if you would have had a chance to voice a character from a Gerry Anderson show other than Lyca, who would it have been?
Ooh.
Lady Penelope, of course.
Ah, of course.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that would have been lovely.
She's quite a popular choice.
But there's quite a few, aren't there? There's Atlanta as well.
Oh, yeah.
Quite liked her. But on another theme, the fact that Aquamarina, really, obviously she didn't speak.
No.
But she did to me. She spoke to me. And she spoke telepathically as well, I believe, didn't she?
There's one episode where she does that, but it's a dream.
It's a dream.
But then there are things like in the comics, I think she did to her own people. So kind of yes and no.
I had that feeling that she did and a sort of vague memory. But she expressed herself beautifully, didn't she?
You get the sense of there being a real character, even though there's no dialogue. It's just that the puppeteers, the slight inclination of the head and so forth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they really...
I just love the idea that, she wasn't allowed to speak. It wasn't that she was disabled.
No, she had a curse put on her.
But she had a curse put on her, so she couldn't.
Yeah.
Was it that she actually couldn't, or she didn't
explained it in the show? Again, it's one of those things that was covered in books and comics and things.
Because I wondered whether it was that Titan had put a curse on her, or that had just demanded that she didn't speak, because if she did, all of her people would perish.
That's basically how it is in the comics,
Right.
On the show, they never mention it, except there is one episode where they take her to a professor who's going to help her learn to speak, and she's absolutely fine with it. So there's a bit of a disconnect between the show and the other bits.
Well, in a future version...
Yes, that's what we're getting to.
I'd love to voice her.
Yes.
I mean, that would be a dream, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Really? So there you go. What's this one? Jonathan Bell says, what was it like working on the Fimbles with a certain Captain Scarlet, Wayne Forrester?
Oh, yes. I believe you've worked with Wayne on several occasions.
I have indeed.
Yes.
What a fantastic talent he is, and a gorgeous man. Yes, worked with him on that. That was a lot of fun because that was at Elstree, actually.
Oh, yes.
And so we would be there with our microphones watching the action with the wonderful artists who were in the skins, as they called them. They were fantastic and they knew what they were doing. And I loved that because I had the script in front of me and I could see them doing the action, and it would be a sort of double. It would be like just working to picture, like I do. And so you're reading the line, your eye is flicking up, and you're watching the expression, and then it all just marries together, and you can see how they're moving their body, and getting into it, and you're kind of matching that. And there's just something about that takes me back to my childhood, because that's how I felt when I was embodying the characters of, say, Kermit or Miss
so it's
Piggy
that
or
element of
whatever.
role
It's
play.
that really stepping into it physically, embodying it, really feeling it, actually stepping into their shoes, kind of thing. You know, so that has been a bit of a theme for me, I think, which is quite curious.
Yes,
but I think it stems from puppets. And I think that's partly why I had a fascination. I did have a fascination with the Thunderbirds and the way that they were moving.
Yeah.
But definitely Stingray and Aquamarina.
Well, speaking of, we have another clip to play
Oh,
you
do
now
you?
from one of your earliest Anderson memories.
Oh, yes.
This is indeed Stingray and a little bit of Marina.
Fantastic.
What I don't understand is how you managed to fix a line to Stingray without your underwater equipment.
Well, that's the one part of the story I haven't told you about. Commander Shore, Lieutenant, Amanda,
Just so
and
glam.
Marina, the latest recruit to the World Aquanaut Security Patrol.
Marina. Wow. What do you know?
Yeah. Well, as I was saying, at least we know what we're up against.
Well, I certainly know what
I'm up against.
and
she nods at that as well.
Yeah.
I love that. She's in on the joke. Look,
Yes.
she's in on it. Isn't that clever?
She knows, yeah.
Oh.
That's the end of the very first episode of Stingray.
Oh.
So, if you were sort of pressed to choose a favourite of Stingray or Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds, did you have one, or were they all?
I honestly do think at the moment I was thinking about it, it was definitely Aquamarina.
Yeah.
She just, I loved the sea. The thing is, I love the underwater world.
Yeah.
I was a keen swimmer, and my favourite animal was a whale shark, for goodness sake. So I loved anything to do with underwater. So I couldn't quite work out how on earth they were managing to do that. You know, with the a stingray coming out of the thing where the big bubble goes and all of that, and that fascinated me. And to see her, and I think because she was so glittery and sort of beautiful and massive eyes and great big eyelashes. I don't know. She just totally drew me in, and the fact that she wasn't speaking, I don't know. It kind of drew me in even more because she had this mystery about her. I really wanted to know what she was thinking and what she was saying.
It's strange. We sort of hear sometimes people talk about Stingray and they say, oh, Marina is a silent woman. Oh, it's a bit stereotypical. But we've had more than one guest come on this show, female guests, come on and say that Marina was actually one of their favourite characters, that they found that side of her very appealing, that it was the character rather than anything she might have said that shone through.
Absolutely. And I wonder about that. I'm thinking, is that perhaps because we're all in our own thoughts, aren't we? We're all in here and we're all thinking, and, you know, and she was a visual embodiment of us, what we're thinking and feeling and how we're reacting to things happening to us from the outside and how we cope with them. And then you're implanting your thoughts onto this character as you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Which I think is rather interesting because I think that, if I'm right in saying, I'm probably far too animated and moving my head too much for the screen here. But often they say, you know, in filming and things, you have to be very, very still, you know, and to draw people to you. I mean, as a sideline, it is something that I want to perhaps get into and study a bit.
Yeah.
Is what the tricks of the trade are for that. But to draw you in like that. It's definitely the chemistry between the audience, the audience and the actor, and the storyline, and so I think there was a deeper connection there for some reason.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I say you're not the first person who's brought that up on here. Let's go into the tin for a couple more questions.
Oh gosh, I've got rather too many.
Oh dear, that's fine.
Oh, there we go. What was your funniest moments in Lavender Castle and Shaun the Sheep? And that's from Emma Nichols.
Ooh.
Funniest moments in Lavender Castle? Well, recording it, basically.
Yeah.
With the fantastic Jimmy Hibbert and David Holt and Rob Rackstraw.
So you're the lone girl in a room full of boys, essentially, on that one.
That's the theme as well that's come up. Definitely in Secret Show as well. And it was just me and the blokes, me and the lads. But it's fine. I'm actually, if I'm honest, I'm more comfortable with male company.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But if it's a female company, I'm more comfortable with the singular person. I don't know why that is. It's extraordinary. Anyway, I'm very comfortable around blokes, and I don't mind having a chat and a joke and it's all part of it.
Yeah.
So they used to make me howl. I was just laughing most of the time. I was actually, though, pretty nervous because I was very aware of this incredible man, Gerry Anderson.
Oh, yes.
This icon in the room, in the booth behind the glass. And there he was. And we were all a little bit nervous. Not nervous, but on our best behaviour, perhaps, shall we say. And so the sort of natural flow of the banter didn't quite happen to start with. And it then warmed up, I suppose, as he relaxed and we relaxed. And we kind of trusted each other, I suppose. And then it all started to happen. But that's the thing I really love about Gerry Anderson, is that he takes it, to me, he takes it seriously. It's a very serious business, telling stories.
Yeah.
And he did it brilliantly. Cinematography-wise, if I can say that.
Yeah.
How do you say that? Cinematically.
That'll do.
Cinematically brilliant. And just epic, really. And that absolutely drew you in. Yes. And so to finish the other question, and Shaun the Sheep, wasn't it? What was it? The red carpet. The purple carpet, actually, it was, when we did the film Farmageddon.
Oh, right.
So we were walking down the purple carpet, and there was Tim Peake. For goodness sake, I got to meet Tim Peake.
Wow.
That was quite stratospheric.
Well, Shaun the Sheep is something that we'll be talking about next time quite a bit, as well as getting into more from Lavender Castle.
Yes.
But until then, if our listeners want to find you on social media, whereabouts can they do that?
Well, all the usuals, actually. Instagram, I think I'm Kate Harbour Official.
Right.
Official there. TikTok, I think it's Kate Harbour VO. Actually, it's all on my website, which is www.kateharbour.com. And at
Very
the bottom,
nice.
you'll see the little icons.
Yeah.
And that'll take you to where you need to go.
Okay, fantastic. Well, this brings to the end the first part of our interview with Kate Harbour, but will come back next week for a bit more of a chat about all things Lavender Castle, Aardman, and of course Thunderbirds.
Wonderful, yes,
Brilliant.
absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming in to see us today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kate Harbour.
Kate Harbour, Part 1.
Yes.
Part 2 next week.
She'll always be a giant fish to me.
Now, what was that? That's another big finish, isn't it?
It was Doctor Who Time Apart.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
How was her giant fish?
Well, she had an effect in the booth so that we could all hear this effect of giant fish, and she found it really challenging.
Yes.
Because she was hearing herself back with a tiny delay, with her voice pitched down like 4 octaves.
Weird.
It was really spooky and weird, actually.
Yeah. You'll see Part 2 of the interview next time with Chris Dale. And
I cannot wait.
Kate Harbour. Yeah. But in the meantime, it's time to hear from some other people without whom this podcast would be very short.
Thank goodness they're here to lengthen it for us.
Oh, so that's someone at the door.
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
I have, I would say long. It's quite a long one.
Okay, go for it.
Are you up for it?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Hi, Jamie, Richard and Chris.
Hello, whoever you are.
We'll find out. In pod 295,
yes,
the very first episode of The Secret Service came up on the Randomiser, and Chris asked if there were any podcast listeners who were lucky enough to live in one of the regions who got this show back in the day, because it wasn't shown nationwide.
Absolutely right, yeah.
And would have seen it on first broadcast. And what we thought of it, well, I grew up in Nottingham, which was in the ATV Midlands region.
I was going to say, this would be a very short email if you just went, well, I didn't.
No, I didn't say thanks. No.
But he did.
this writer-inner
Yes.
grew up in the ATV Midlands region, so I think I got pretty much all the Anderson shows at the time of original broadcast.
Okay.
I really liked the increasing realism from Captain Scarlet onwards, so when the Secret Service came along, I just accepted it as the next show after Joe 90, with even more enhanced puppets and miniature sets. So much so that they could be matched with live-action shots. What great improvements. Stanley Unwin was relatively well known back in the day, so it didn't strike me as particularly strange that he was selected to play the lead character, and I remember being impressed that the live action and puppet versions worked together almost seamlessly.
Fair enough, yeah.
Well, if you say so.
That's right.
Chris's excellent recent book, The Secrets of the Secret Service, available in the Gerry Anderson store.
It is excellent.
Well done, Chris.
Yeah.
About the series, gives the original broadcast dates as September to December 1969. This confirms a rather fading memory of being nominated by my school to do the Christmas reading in the local church that year. Standing in the pulpit and seeing the congregation and the interior of the church all seemed to fit with the setting of the series. So my memory of that event has somehow merged with my experience of the show. You were Father Unwin. Finally, I wanted to congratulate the team at Anderson Entertainment for your prolific output of late.
I should say so.
I'm sitting here looking at my collection of Terrorhawks books and the soundtrack CD, the limited edition Corgi Stingray model, Chris's excellent Secret Service book, and the Day After Tomorrow Blu-ray.
Amazing.
I've also ordered the special edition of the Fireball XL5 technical manual for myself. Goodness me, keep up the great work, and can I dare to hope there may be a brand new show not too far around the corner? Best wishes.
Oh, no, wait. Don't tell me who it is. ATV Midlands, you say?
Yes.
Old enough to remember watching Secret Service and all the previous Super Mario Nation shows as well.
Yep.
So that puts him, I'm guessing it's a man, at a certain age, at a certain location. I'm going to say it's from Chris Turner.
My God, you're right.
See?
You're so impressive.
I know all our Podsterons.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Since you know our Podsterons so well, why don't you read the next one?
Yes.
Perhaps in the voice you believe this person
There's a lot of capitals.
Gosh,
here.
there are a lot of capital letters.
Okay. Hi, guys. This is from Ambassador Paul Hyde from the Isle of Wight.
Paul Hyde, Isle of Wight.
Hi, guys. After watching the last couple of episodes of the podcast, I have you rumbled.
What?
During the Fab Facts segment, I have noticed that while Mr. Jamie Lionel Anderson is flicking through the book of Fab Facts, this is where it becomes capitalised, you, Mr. Richard Neinstein James, must know that the page is clearly what page to say Fab at the book because the page is clearly being folded back. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? If I'm wrong, well, I do apologise. Is it folded back?
Well, I'm just having a look.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the spine of the
Doesn't look folded
the
back.
book.
No, he must be mistaken. That's strange.
I can't see any folding there.
Yeah. Anyway, now for some praise. He says, I'm loving all the Space 1999 books that have been coming out more recently. The Space 1999 Look-In book, I remember reading so many of the stories in Look-In back in the day. Thank you once again. And finally, Mr. Anderson, if you are found guilty of folding the page, the charge is that you would have to watch about 2 hours of Joe 90. And as for you, Richard, I can't think of anything. So I'll let the other podders decide your fates. Podsterons, you know the address. podcast@gerryanderson.com. Oh, and before I forget, congratulations on making it to 300 pods. I have been here since day one. See you in July at the concert. I'm sitting in row J with all my fellow members of the Podders Arms.
Ah, great.
That's from Paul Hyde. How exciting.
Thank you, Paul Hyde.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
No folding back here.
Strange, isn't it?
I'm trying to say there's some sort of weird thing we do.
Like it's rigged or something.
No, there's no rigging here. It's just very genuine.
There's no rigging here.
Anyway, I have another email.
Good.
Jake F. Grave
yes.
writes, Hi, guys.
Hi, Jake.
Doing it in the Chris Dale style, I think. Something I just thought about at the time of writing this was, which means he started writing it before thinking about what he was writing. Amazing. Are there any past guests from previous podcasts you and all the Podsterons would like to see return? Personally, I'd like to hear from Mark Silk again.
Would you?
Because he might be one of my favourite guests you've ever had on the podcast.
Wow.
On a similar note, I'm wondering if it would be possible to get Kate Harbour to be interviewed on the podcast.
What?
Well, we work fast. We worked so fast that we started last week.
Yes.
To be interviewed on the podcast. Of course, I'm completely understand it's not always easy to get hold of people. No, it's really not. Richard tries his best. I absolutely appreciate the work that you all do and put into the podcast. It's truly a highlight of my Mondays.
Oh.
Until next time.
Yes.
Jake.
Well, Jake, you can watch us on Sunday evening at 7 o'clock UK time. I don't know where
Yes.
you're writing from, but you can join us on Sunday night. Well, Kate Harbour's with us, as you know. Mark Silk, I mean, I literally booked Mark Silk to come back and join us again.
He's already booked us. So yeah, there you go, Jay. You got both your wishes in one email.
Because I know he was a very popular guest, and thought we'd like to hear some more from him. A bit more fun.
Yeah, we like Mark.
In the studio.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, Scott Sadler says, hi guys, I'm still keeping up to date with the podcast every week and enjoying them as always.
Impressive.
Just thought I'd favour an idea for a future piece of merch, he says.
merch.
This is volumes books from the series that contain the scripts from the episodes. I came across this idea from picking up a set of books called The Bible of Peckham, which contain the scripts from the popular TV comedy series Only Fools and Horses. It's just an idea that would be a nice addition to collectors and would sit nicely on the Anderson shelf. For Chris Dale, is there some sort of printable chart that we could print out and use as a tick sheet of every randomiser he's done so we could keep up to date every week, please?
Not official, no.
Wish list-wise, I still have hopes of the Secret Service on Blu-ray and the Super Space Theatre movies releases available on some format, but with the demise of network, I can only hope. As always, thanks for everything from Anderson Entertainment, and I'll see you in July at Standby for Action 2. P.S. Don't be surprised if you see a random guy walking up to you with a tray of donuts again.
Oh, donuts. Thanks, Scott.
Scott Sadler.
Lovely. No chart currently. I mean, it's up to Chris if he wants to release his own chart.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in terms of restoration stuff, I mean, we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow's out. I'm sure there's some other stuff coming later in the year. So never say never. We could certainly do some things,
Great.
I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
If you have any other ideas, do let us know. podcast@gerryanderson.com, and we'll read out your email next time.
Well, I look forward to it already.
Yes?
Chris Dale, before he gets too busy working on
On
his
his
new
chart.
randomiser chart release thing,
Yeah, that's right.
should we actually make him do some work?
Oh, yes. Well, it's not really work, is it? But yeah, we ought to.
Should we make Chris sit down in front of a random Gerry Anderson episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck, Chris.
So, Kate, thank you ever so much for joining us today and for joining me now on the Randomiser sofa. It's your turn to press the button right here on the good old Randomiser. So whenever you're ready, press that button.
Here we go.
Yep. Oh, there we go. And anything in particular you're hoping to see come up today?
Absolutely.
Yes? Is there a show that's close to your
I'm
heart?
hoping, yes.
For that show right there, we've got a Lavender Castle for Kate. That's the episode Swamp Fever, which, of course, I'm sure you remember very well.
Yes.
Yes. Kate, would you like to stick around and watch that with me today?
Go on then.
Hey! Kate's going to watch it with me, everybody. Thank you very much. Here's Swamp Fever.
This is our quest to find it.
So, Kate, you mentioned earlier that you were taking a look at this show fairly recently, taking a look at it for clips for a reel.
Yes.
What do you feel when you see this in motion again?
Oh, I'm just excited.
Yeah?
I'm just excited by it. I just love all these little characters.
Yeah.
They're just so wonderful. I mean, there's something about these...
There she is.
There she is. Hooray! Oh.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
There's something about the McKinnon Saunders puppets. They're just almost edible, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then that's not something you should say, really. But
No, but it's true. There is something very... and it's a wonderful integration of CGI and the traditional stop motion. As I've said before, I've not seen most of these, so I have no idea what we're going to get today. Oh, no.
He's contracted galactic fever.
Oh,
Without
dear.
treatment, he could die within days.
Oh, no.
You'll start the treatment immediately. Well, I need an extract from the leaves of the wombo plant.
Oh, yes, the wombo plant. I remember that.
Hi, the great swamp on the planet Quagmire.
Oh, we know who lives there. That's the home of the Dank.
Oh, the Dank, of course,
They
yes.
say that more enter the swamp than ever come out of
And again, that close-up on Walking Stick, she looks like wood.
Yes.
Real aged wood.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, no.
Come on, Sproggle, I need that course for planet Quagmire.
Did you watch
Danger and
these?
peril.
Yes. Did you watch these go out on first broadcast?
Yes, I think I did,
Yeah?
yes.
Great.
Still at a time when we felt it was an occasion,
Yeah.
you know?
So I remember it was on as I was coming home from school at about 10 to 4, so I never had a chance to see any of it.
The inhabitants are a little strange. They're called Danks, and they live on insects and dank juice. Dank juice? It's a drink made from the wombo plant.
Yes.
And wombo plant make Captain Fries better?
Yes, but the Danks want them all for themselves.
So do you ever find any sort of old lines from the show come to mind unprompted at times?
Well, I think they probably they're all mixed up in the melee of lots of other characters.
Yes.
But yes, I mean, picking up some of these.
Wrong way.
There's elements of her in other characters that I've done, of course, as it's only one voice box. Yes, it can change, but there are similarities, of course.
Which way do we go?
Yeah, it's hard to think it's 25 years old
This way.
already.
Oh, goodness me. That makes me feel... No, it doesn't make me feel old. I'm very glad to be alive. Very privileged.
And these two are always lovely together as well.
I love them, yeah.
Oh, dragonfly.
Oh.
Come on, Sproggle. I told you this was a dangerous place.
Gets quite annoyed with him.
She does.
Yes.
But it was her idea to come here.
Yes.
It was indeed. You can't say it though.
No.
You brought me down here.
Which way, Sproggle?
Oh, yes.
That way. Sproggle frightened.
Don't worry,
Brilliant.
I'll fly you across.
Sproggle even more frightened.
Then you'll have to cross over the bridge on foot, won't you?
Oh, she's very tetchy with him.
Yes, she is today.
Captain Thrice is dying, or had you forgotten?
Oh!
If you do one thing more,
to be rather...
I'm going to throw you off the bridge.
Yeah. Poor old Sproggle.
He tries his best.
Perhaps it's the only way she could get through to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, I wish I hadn't said what I said.
She's taking her time coming to the rescue a bit.
She is, yes. Why can't she fly? Why isn't she flying to his aid? Oh!
Oh, he's done well there.
Sproggle!
Ah,
here she goes.
Sproggle! Sproggle don't want to fly! You fly or you die!
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that line, yeah.
I saved map, Lyca. Sproggle saved map.
Oh dear.
Sproggle tired, Lyca.
Just hang in there, Sproggle. If this map's
So aside
right,
from Lyca and Walking Stick, were there any other favourite guest characters you did on this?
Yes.
Yeah, the old woman.
Yeah.
She was, which was Dr. Aegon, I believe. Yeah, that was just fun.
Yeah.
And I don't think there were any others actually.
No.
You stay here.
Yeah, I think they. Yeah, I didn't do any others other than Walking Stick, Lyca, and the old woman. But obviously, had there been another series, they probably would have utilised me a bit more.
But a lot of the guest villains on the show tended to be male. Like,
did.
for instance...
Yeah, Lang.
This here is my land.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
trespassing.
He's fantastic, love it.
I've seen a later episode where they have a banjo contest. Who can play the banjo
Oh, yeah,
better between
yeah, I
him and
remember that.
Thrice. It's just, it's insane, but it's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's what they all say, Missy.
Just used to make me laugh.
Left to make dank juice with.
Dank juice, yes.
I really do love my dank juice.
I love my dank juice. Yeah.
I suppose this really is a show where you could have... You had the freedom to experiment with voices all over the place for such strange characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And artistic license.
Yeah.
You're allowed to go anywhere. But just as long as it fits. I mean, it does. It fits perfectly.
So, silly question, but would you have done the voices before the animation on this case?
Yes, I think we did on this one.
Lyca captured by Big Sproggle. All the fault of Sproggle.
But the colours, aren't they just incredible?
Yeah.
And it's, you say it's 25 years. That really does, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no! It's a doo-doo.
Okay.
It's a doo-doo.
Especially the female of the species.
Yes.
Little girls. Why?
So it's dark.
Yeah.
Again. See, that's the wonderful thing, isn't it? The darkness, but it's in safety.
Yes. because a newcomer to the show looks at like a picture and thinks, "Oh, this is a bit cutesy," and occasionally it does.
Yeah,
it does surprise you.
Pretty out there themes, I think.
What's the matter? I done shot myself in the phone. Oh boy. I'll get him next time.
Again, it's not just the animation, but there's so many elements at play here, like the CGI stuff as well.
Yes.
And crucially, that doesn't look dated, the CGI part.
You can fool me with your tricks and lying, dude.
No, that's amazing, actually. All those wonderful colours.
Yeah.
I mean, starting from such incredible designs, anyway. And the whole world around it.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, I just loved her. I would have loved to have had a kind of, a little doll of her.
Yeah.
A little plush, maybe.
I don't think there was any.
No, I don't think there was any merch.
No.
Or T-shirt or something.
No, nothing.
Make me own.
Yeah, why not?
I'll make me own.
Get someone to dress up as her at a convention or something.
Oh, yeah. I should probably go as her, shouldn't I, really?
Who's piloting the ship? Why aren't you looking after the engine?
He appears to be recovering. Welcome.
Well, I'm not quite sure how I'd managed to do...
No, that might be a bit harder.
to do walking stick. Just put me in a bodysuit.
Yes.
All in one. But people will probably just leave me there. Sit there roasting.
Oh, dear.
This just ain't my day.
So Captain Thrice is going to be all right. They've got whatever it was they needed to cure him, and we're done.
And we're done.
With Swamp Fever.
And we're out.
Lavender Castle.
Lovely Lavender Castle. It's so cute. And how lovely to have Kate Harbour, voice from Lavender Castle, on while we're watching that. While he's watching Lavender Castle.
Yes, that's right. It's like it's almost kind of dovetailed together nicely.
Yeah. Sometimes you get coincidences. Serendipity in it.
In it. I think that's it for this week. It's time for us to say goodbye, but rest assured, we'll be back next week.
Oh.
With more of the same for Pod 303.
More of the same.
More of the exact same thing. Randomiser. Fab Facts. Podsterons. Interview.
Hello, goodbye.
Yeah, see you then.
All right, goodbye.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get started. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
Very neat, very tidy. Well done.
Thanks very much, yes. I'm a sort of neat and tidy person. At home, I'm very neat and tidy.
Sure, so Charlotte's told me.
Has she?
I mean, I think she. What is it? She said you were anally retentive or something. No,
I'm not that bad.
I think she said that.
I'm just a great believer in the adage of tidy workspace, tidy mind.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite.
I know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Couldn't work with you.
No, I know, but I've tidy workspace is sort
No,
of
everything's got to be in its place.
saps creativity.
Dusted, swept clean.
Dusted?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the bed's got to be made. The cushions have got to be plumped.
I've got a 6-day-old apple core on my desk. I might send it to you. You can put it on yours.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.